What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Skillz, and this is Skillz on Cards, back after a few months off, few months hiatus, where we did not do a show, but we're going to do one here tonight. We're going to do 2023 Topps Baseball as we've been doing. We're going to do card numbers 171 through 180, which represents pile 9. If you're keeping track, if you've seen our past videos, we do these card reviews, card analysis in piles, and this is pile number 9. If you're wondering why I'm in 49ers gear for a baseball card show, the answer to that question is because I can be. That's simple as that. So we're going to talk about, if you're a San Francisco Giants fan, you're in the right spot, because we're going to have 3 San Francisco Giants cards, count 3 different cards coming up in pile 9. There's going to be at least one current All-Star, at least one past All-Star, at least one son of a past All-Star, and even more than that. So it's just a little bit of something for everyone. Pitchers, batters. We're going to talk about the numbers on the cards, the stats. We're going to talk about the photos. If we find any errors, we will be sure to make fun of them, because that's what we're going to do. Enjoy Pile 9, 2023 Topps Baseball, Skillz on Cards. Card number 171, 2023 Topps Pile 9, Skillz on Cards. Card number 171 is longtime Major League reliever Mychal Givens with the New York Mets. He's best known, of course, with the Baltimore Orioles. He's one of the most dependable, frequently seen setup middle relievers of his era. Guy just, I don't think he's ever even been on the IL. You can see here on his Mets jersey, the numbers, his uniform number is partially obscured. It's number 60 he wears, and he's worn that his whole career, except for with Cincinnati when he wore number 48. I don't know what the story is behind that. Number 60 was not taken up by any other player. Could have been taken up by a coach. I don't know that. Givens, New York Mets, they had acquired him. I forget how they acquired him. We'll probably figure it out on the reverse, or if not, I'll have it in the notes. Speaking of the reverse, Mychal Givens, number 2 pick of the 2009 Orioles. Look, all those years with Baltimore. Look, all the games he appeared in: 60s, 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 50s. Even in the COVID year, 22 games in 2020, and during that abbreviated 60-game season. So the guy was a workhorse. Always took the ball. I don't think he was ever even on the IL. Look at those little whips. A lot of very solid numbers there for Givens, who did, his career high in saves was 11, so he was never a full-time closer, just very solid in that middle setup role. Blurb says, the Mets made several roster tweaks for the last 2 months of 2022, including a trade for Mychal. After his acquisition, he delivered 16 straight no earned run outings and owned a sub-200 career opponent average versus righty hitters. So he's very tough against same-side batters, very effective guy, but he can also get lefties out too, which you got to have guys who can do both these days. Mychal Givens, after the 2022 season, he only appeared in 6 major league games after that, again with Baltimore during the 23 season, and he didn't fare very well and wasn't seen again in the major leagues after that. So if this is the end of Mychal Givens' career, he had a good one. He's 35 now, so it's unlikely we'll see him again, but he had a very, very, very good career. Card number 172 is the current New York Yankee, former Miami Marlin Jazz Chisholm, and Chisholm came on the scene in 2020, one of the game's most exciting two-way power speed players. Second baseman, I think he played outfield with the Marlins too as well for a period. And he's was an all-star by his 3rd season, and he's had some ups and downs over the years, but he's a good player. Now currently getting it done with the Yankees after all those years with the Marlins. You see here, and this is a capsule. This encapsulates the kind of player Chisholm is. He's an exciting player. Look at him sliding into home plate and showing that a little bit of fire there as he does so. And even on this card, his hair is 2 different colors: blue, green, or it was that teal in the main photo, and then blonde in the secondary photo. Chisholm is his own man. He's one of the characters of the game as well, and he's probably rubbed some people the wrong way, but hey, he can play, so it's all good. On the reverse, Chisholm was blurb. I had swag. I couldn't touch this guy, though. Last former star shortstop Jimmy Rollins of the flamboyant Chisholm. The 2022 National League All-Star was amidst a monster season before a back injury curtailed it. We'll have some more details on that in the blurb. As you can see, in 2021, he had 18 home runs and 23 steals, not shown as the 8 caught stealings that he led the league with as well that season. And then he was, as the blurb indicated, on his way to a pretty good season as well in 22 until he got hurt. Chisholm, and here's a little bit of trivia. Chisholm wore number 2 with Miami, but that's obviously not available with New York, thanks to Derek Jeter. Wears 13 now with the Yankees, and he's been productive with the Yankees ever since. He had this past season, had a 31 home run season, playing a lot of second base, a lot of third base, if memory serves. And then this is 1.5 years he's been with the Yankees now. He came over in a 2024 trade, for whom I don't remember. We'll have that in the notes as well. Jazz Chisholm Jr. getting it done. Card number 173, 2023 Topps Pile 9 Skillz on Cards. Card number 173 is the San Francisco Giants team card. And if you don't know already, I am a huge Giants fan. That's been my team since I was 10 years old, 35 years ago. And the 22 season was a tough year for my Giants. It was a disappointing year, actually. If you remember in 2021, they were a 107-win ball club, and expectations for this following season fell far short as they struggled in the wake of Buster Posey's retirement. However, they weren't wretchedly bad, so they were at least watchable for most of the season. I'll give them that much. See, on the front of the card, we see Thairo Estrada, number 39, and with my questionable eyesight, I think I identify Logan Webb in the back, and I think I see Mike Yastrzemski to the far left, celebrating a game-winning hit of some sort in their City Connect uniforms, which they don't wear those City Connect uniforms anymore, even though they should. You don't know what you have until it's gone. I didn't like these at the time, but compared to what they replaced them with, these were far superior. On to the reverse. Giants were 81-81, a 26-win drop from 2021. Finished third, struggled on the road, won 6 in a row at one point, but wasn't enough to make it much of a dent in the standings. Blurb says the Giants finished in the top 3 of their division for the 12th time in the last 14 seasons. The rotation carried the squad as the club's starters fielding independent pitching was the lowest in the majors by a hefty margin. I don't know what that means, but okay. Carlos Rodon led the loop with 11.98 strikeouts per 9, while both he and Logan Webb slotted among the top 7 earned run average. By winning 12 of their last 17 games, San Francisco reached the 500 mark. Their team leaders, batting average, I don't know why they don't put the actual numbers on there with the names, but you have Thairo Estrada, he hit 260, that led the team. Gives you an idea how poor of an offense we had. Jock Peterson had 23 home runs. Wilmer Flores had 71 RBI. Logan Webb, that's not a mistake. Wilmer Flores had 71 RBI, led the team. Logan Webb had 15 wins to lead the team. Carlos Rodon had a 2.88 ERA, which was 0.02 less than Logan Webb. And Tom Listella of all people hit the longest home run. I have no idea about that home run, but I'm sure it must have been at least 400 feet. And that's your 2023 Topps San Francisco Giants team card number 173. Card number 174, 2023 Topps Pile 9 Skillz on Cards. This is a checklist. This is one of those cards that they started doing in the last decade or so, where you have the highlight on the front, followed by partial checklists on the back. And for years, Topps didn't even do checklists, so I'm not complaining about the partial checklist part. The thing is, I can't always identify where the photo comes from. Here we have Abraham Toro celebrating a walk-off hit of some sort. Now, Seattle did make the playoffs in 2022. This could be from the playoffs. I'm ashamed to admit, I don't remember if he had a big hit in the postseason. I can tell you he had a big hit at some point, because here it is, right here on the card. He's celebrating with Julio Rodriguez, who must have been a rookie that year, and then Cal Raleigh, whose name I always screw up, the big dumper as they call him, and they're celebrating his big hit in the ninth, as stated right there on the card, celebration in Seattle. Let's flip it over to the reverse. What I like to do here is see which players I can and cannot recollect after 3 years of not viewing this card, on the reverse anyway. I recognize Anthony Santander, of course, Tommy Pham, Steven Matz. Let's see, is there anyone? Vaughn Grissom rookie card in this set, cool. I do not recognize, actually I do recognize all these people. O'Neal Cruz was a youngster at that time. Oh, whoa, David McKinnon. I do not know who David McKinnon, number 276 is. I have no idea who that is or who he plays for. So how about that? Got some stars on this list here. Aaron Nola, Yu Darvish, among others, JT Realmuto. So yeah, this is your 2023 Topps checklist, card number 174. Half Abraham Toro, half checklist. Card number 175, 2023 Topps. We have, at the time, he was one of the best closers in baseball, Liam Hendriks of the Chicago White Sox. And you see here he is showing some fire, probably just got a huge out. Maybe his defense made a huge play behind him, but in any event, this is Hendriks when he was at or near his peak as a closer. He was probably best remembered before this card, before he emerged as a closer for the A's in 2019. Remember, he started the 2018, he had opened the 2018 wild card game against the Yankees, and it didn't go so well. But since that, after that, he turned his career right around and became one of the best closers in baseball. Let's check out the reverse. As you can see, Liam's been around for a while. Started out with the Twins, a couple stints with the Blue Jays. Didn't really kick in for him until he hit Toronto the second time. And after that, through the 22 season, he was one of the most dependable relievers in the game, except for that 2018 season when he was designated for assignment twice. Then we had that wild card fiasco that I previously mentioned. And then the wild card fiasco, he never should have been put in that spot in any event. But as you can see here, he turned things around, led the lead in saves in 2021. No blurb. I just kind of gave you enough for a blurb anyway. And after this card, he's only appeared in 19 games since this card came out. That's because of, as you probably are aware, he survived and he battled and survived cancer in 2023, followed by elbow surgery right after recovering from that. Still got comeback player of the year just for even making it back to the field in 2023, following the cancer treatment. Didn't pitch in 2024, came back in 2025, only to go down again with hip and more elbow problems. He's a free agent right now, but I don't think we've seen the last of Liam Hendriks, card number 175 in 2023 Topps. Skillz on Cards 2023 Topps Pile 9, card number 176, gives us Cody Clemens, whose father I once worshipped. Yes, he is the youngest son of Roger Clemens. And Clemens, the older Clemens back in the day, was my hero before all this stuff became known about him. Cody, the youngest son, and the oldest son, Kobe, I saw him play as a minor leaguer against the San Jose Giants once, and that boy was very good that year. He never made it to the majors. Cody has. He's the youngest of the 4 Clemens children, all of whom have K's for first initials. Cody here is seen just, he's a regular position player. He's listed as a second baseman, but he really played a bunch of positions for the Tigers. But get this, he also pitched 7 games for the Tigers. That is an extremely high amount for a position player, even in this day and age when position players are pitching all the time. So that's Cody Clemens, card number 176. Let's check out the reverse. Cody collected his first 2 major league hits on June 13th, 2022 against the White Sox. 12 days later, he hit his initial home run, a 3-run tie-breaking shot that beat the Diamondbacks. The former U of Texas standout long has been known for his bat, having reached double figures in round trippers in each of his first 3 full seasons on the farms. So good for Topps for not going out of their way to mention his dad. You want to be known by more than just who you're related to by the time you reach the major leagues, of course. Cody was a number 3 pick by the 2018 Tigers. He is a Houston native. And check out the numbers there, pretty good. Batting average could have been much higher, but what are you going to do? Since then, he has played mostly for the Phillies. Remember, he was a fill-in for Bryce Harper as he recovered from surgery. Played a lot of first base for the Phillies in 23 and 24. And then this past year, he got a lot of run for the 2025 Twins, even hit 19 home runs. So Cody making a name for himself outside of his famous papa, and all that versatility, and plus he can pitch too. Well, what do you expect from a Clemens to be able to pitch? Cody Clemens, card number 176, 2023 Topps. Card number 177, 2023 Topps is Kendall Graveman of the Chicago White Sox. Graveman, you see here, he's very effective reliever for the White Sox and other teams since about 2020, I think was when he had his operation. Graveman's one of those guys, he's had 2 careers. He started out as a decent starter for the Oakland A's in the late 10s, got hurt, has reinvented himself as a pretty effective middle reliever, late inning reliever for a number of teams. And like I said, here he's with the White Sox, so we're going to cover more how he ended up with the White Sox on the reverse. And on the reverse, you see Graveman started out with the Toronto Blue Jays in 14, all those years with the A's as a decent to good starter. Then he had the injury. Came back, reinvented as a middle reliever, as many do these days, and he had a 2-year stint with the Mariners. And you may remember when he was with the Seattle Mariners, he was traded to the division rival Houston Astros, much to the chagrin of his contending Mariners teammates, who did not like him going to a division rival as they were fighting for a playoff spot. I didn't really see what was behind that deal either. And you remember the Astros did go to the World Series that year, so it worked out for them at least. Graveman then signed with the White Sox, where he spent the 2022 and part of the 2023 season. I believe he went back to Houston after that. Since this card, he has been he had a shoulder surgery in 2024 that knocked him out of 2024. Before joining the Diamondbacks for 25, but they released him before the season was even over. He was that ineffective. And I don't know if this is the end for Graveman. As you see here, he was born in 1990, which makes him just about ready to turn 35 years old. This may or may not be the end for him. We'll see. We'll find out. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw him. It wouldn't surprise me if we didn't. Skillz on Cards 2023 Topps. Card number 177. Skillz on Cards 2023 Topps. Card number 178 is the National League leaderboard for home runs. The leaders have been appearing in top sets since forever, and we have our usual trifecta, the top three leaders of the 2022 season, which was Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies. There's a familiar name. Pete Alonso of the New York Mets, another familiar name, former home run champ. And then Austin Riley, who was kind of new to the leaderboard in 2022. And none of the three really look like they're hitting home run. They're all early, like standing in the box, waiting for the pitch. I would have personally used photos of them mid-swing for the front rather than just standing there waiting, but what do I know? Let's go to the reverse. And as we see here on the reverse, Schwarber of the Phillies, 46 home runs. I think that was his first year with the Phillies. Followed by closely Pete Alonso with his usual annual 40, and then Austin Riley had emerged with 38 that season. Christian Walker right behind them, 36 of the Diamondbacks. He's kind of slipped since then. Riley Tellez, remember when he was bopping out regularly for the Milwaukee Brewers. 35, tied with Mookie Betts of the Dodgers. We expect to see him high on the leaderboard at times. And then Paul Goldschmidt, who's closing in on, he's closing on 450 in his career now. He had 35 that year for the Cardinals. In his, I believe, that would have been year 4 with the Cardinals, if I'm not mistaken. Matt Olson of the Braves, newly of the Braves, 34 home runs for them. Machado, who's now the Padres' all-time home run leader with 32 home runs, and then Willie Adames currently of the Giants, then of the Brewers, rounding out the list with 31. That's your National League leaderboard for 2022. That's card number 178 for 2023 Topps. Skillz on Cards 2023 Topps Pile 9. This is card number 179, and it brings us to my favorite team, the San Francisco Giants, and Carlos Rodon, who was a Giant in the 2022 season, who signed one of those opt-out deals, ended up not staying with the Giants, but for that one season was a very good pitcher for San Francisco. Set a career high in wins for the Giants after all those years with the White Sox, where he was a good but injury-prone starter. You can't see it here, but Rodon's wearing number 16. He wore number 55 in Chicago his whole time there, but obviously can't wear that in San Francisco just yet because that was Tim Lincecum's number. You see Rodon with the leg kick, throwing his excellent changeup. He's got the breaking balls, at the hard fastball, and let's go to the reverse. You see in the reverse all those years with Chicago, most of them interrupted by injury, but with a lot of potential. And what's interesting is that in 2022, Rodon sets a career low for ERA, and you used to see that all the time. Guys going from the American League to the National League, it's bringing down all their numbers. Just because they're now pitching the pitchers instead of designated hitters. Well, remember in 2022, the designated hitter came to the National League for the first, well, not the first time, it was there in 2020 as well, but this was the first year that it was permanently instituted because they brought back pitchers hitting in 2021. But in 22, Rodon, despite having to face 9 position players, real hitters, set that career high in wins with 14, started 31 games for the Giants, you see here, 237 strikeouts, blew away his previous career high. And as you see in the bio information, Rodon just passed his 33rd birthday. He's about to pass his 33rd birthday, depending on when you see this video. His birthday is December 10th. Blurb says, 1 year after being a 2021 All-Star and Cy Young contender, Carlos repeated both accomplishments in the National League. He set a record for most strikeouts in a player's first 25 starts for the Giants franchise. I have no idea who the previous record holder was, but it'd be a pretty interesting piece of information to have. Rodon only stayed the 1 year with the Giants, as I said, and he went on to the Yankees, signed a mega deal there. The first year was a total nightmare. He was hurt. He was completely ineffective. But since then, 24 and 25, he combined to win 34 games for the Yankees. He's been durable, more durable than ever before in his career. And in spite of being destroyed in his one postseason start last season, 25, he still put together those 34 wins combined and is probably considered, once again, one of the best left-handers in the game. Certainly one of the best left-handers in this league. So Carlos Rodon, 2023 Topps, card number 179. Card number 180, the last card of pile 9, 2023 Topps Baseball, is Dominic Leone, the journeyman. This is the prototypical journeyman right-handed relief pitcher. He's been around, and this year he was with the Giants. 2022 and 2021 he was with the Giants. You see him here. He's sporting the, what is it called? The City Collect. I can't even think of the name of the alternate jerseys that they've been wearing. City Connect. That's what it is. City Connect jerseys that the Giants wore for a while, which I wish they still did wear, but they switched to some god awful colors since then. Leone, it's very, very excellent 2021 season, kind of slumped a little bit in 22. And this is the interesting part of seeing him in this set is Topps typically does not include players in their sets who end the season without a job. And Leone was released by the Giants in mid-September of 2022. His performance had just slipped and they let him go. And yet here he is. I mean, I have no complaints about it. It's just not something you see very often. In fact, the only one I can think of off the top of my head is Sean Bergman from 2001 Topps. That's a long time ago. Let's go to the reverse. You see Leone, a Connecticut native. All those years, he's been around since 14. Mariners, Diamondbacks, Blue Jays, Cardinals. Some years he appeared a lot. Some years he appeared not so much. But he's been more or less effective when he's pitched. You see some of the ERAs that aren't pretty, but you don't survive this long in baseball as a right-hander unless you can get certain guys out. And Leone's pretty good at that. At least he was for a time. And you see he got in over 100 games for the Giants over 21 and 22 seasons. Blurb says, a jack of all bullpen roles, Dominic is a 3-pitch reliever who features a slider against which batters have hit far below 200 in his tenure with the Giants. He's at his best against right-handers. Well, that's pretty much every right-handed pitcher, pretty much. Some pretty good whips there, as you see. Not a lot of saves, only 7 career saves through this time. And Leone pitched 23 and 24. He did not pitch again in 2022. Came back at 23 and 24 with limited success. Did not pitch in the major leagues in 2025. I don't think he even signed a minor league deal anywhere because he was not effective with the 2024 White Sox. Not effective at all. And at age 34, we may have seen the last of Leone in the majors. But if that's the case, he's had a pretty good career, setting up a number of different guys, helping Carlos Rodon, our previous card number 179, helping him win those career high 14 games at the time. So Dominic Leone, card number 180. That concludes pile 9, Skillz on cards. I hope you enjoyed this segment. There will be more to come at a future date.